Alright, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be in the key of G flat. G flat's 1, A flat's 2, B flat's 3, B is 4, D flat's 5, E flat's 6, F is 7, and B flat's 1. Alright, so on the 1, we always know we can play a major chord, right? According to the number system, the 1 is major. So that would be G flat major, which is the 1, 3, and the 5, right? We got that. Now, if I choose not to play the 3, but play the 2 instead, so G flat, A flat, and D flat, I have a G flat sus2 chord. So you can play the sus2, you can play it as a major, or if instead of playing the 3rd tone, we can play the 4th tone and make it a sus4. So that would be the 1, the 4, which is B, and the 5, which is D flat. Okay, so that's your sus4 voicing. So the 1, G flat, B flat, and D flat. Instead, change that 3 to a 2, which is A flat, you got the sus2. Or change that 3 to a B, which would be your 4, it makes it a sus4 chord. Alright, now what happens if you add the 1, the 3, the 5, and you add the 2, or the 9th? You have that add 2 chord. It's another way to voice it, okay? Now we can also make this a major 7th tone. So to form a major 7th chord, you play the 1, the 3, and the 5. You find the 3rd scale degree, which is 1, 2, 3, which is B flat, and play that as a minor chord. So B flat, D flat, and F. And that gives you your that gives you your major 7th voicing. Alright, since I have that B flat up here in my right hand, I don't have to play it in my left hand. So that's that that's that major 7th voicing. And what you see me doing here is inverting that B flat minor chord to get me different voicings for that major 7th sound. Alright, so that's your major 7th. Now you can do a major 9th if you like by playing the 1, the 3, and the 5. You find that 5th scale degree, which is D flat, and form a major chord. So D flat, F, and A flat. Okay, that gives you that major 9th sound, right? So that's some things that you can do on the 1. Also, we know about the Quartal chord hack that you can use. The Quartal chord hack says that if you want to substitute a major chord, so instead of playing a major chord, like a G flat major, you can form a Quartal chord in your right hand off of the 3rd scale degree, so 1, 2, 3, which is B flat, off of the 2nd scale degree, which is A flat, off of the 7th scale degree, which is F, and off of the 6th scale degree, which is E flat. Okay, so if I'm going to form my Quartal chord off of the 3rd scale degree or B flat, I start off on that B flat, right? Go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So B flat and E flat, and then go up another 4 from E flat if I was in the key of E flat major. So that'd be E flat, F, G, and A flat, right? So B flat, E flat, and A flat forms my Quartal voicing in my right hand. Play that over the 1 in the bass, and you get a nice voicing, right? So you can do it off of the 3. You can also do it off of the 2, which will be A flat, D flat, and G flat. You can also do it off of the 7th, which will be the F. So that'd be F, B flat, and E flat, right? And off of the 6th, which would be E flat, A flat, and D flat. Okay, so you have it off of the 3, 2, 7, and 6. Alright, so that's a lot of different options and different ways that you can voice the 1st scale degree in the key of G flat major. Alright, if you're enjoying this content and you're finding this to be helpful, make sure that you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's move on to the 2nd scale degree, which is A flat. A flat's the 2. We know according to the number system, the 2 is typically minor. So what can we do on this? Well, we can make this a regular minor chord. Or make a regular minor triad. So that would be A flat, B, and E flat. That 1, go up 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, and then up 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you form your minor chords, right? So that's a regular A flat minor triad. Okay. We can also make this an A flat minor 7th by taking that flat at 3rd scale degree. So 1, 2, flat 3rd, which is B, and forming a minor chord, forming a major chord there. So B major is B flat, E flat, and G flat. And what you see me doing is inverting that B major chord in my right hand. And it gives me that minor 7th voicing. Alright? So now that we know how to play the minor 7th, what about the minor 9th, right? So to form the minor 9th, we find the 5th scale degree. So that'd be 1, 3, 5, which is E flat, right? And making that a minor chord. So E flat minor is E flat, G flat, and B flat. That gives you that A flat minor 9th type of sound, right? Okay, and you can play around with that E flat minor in your right hand. If I play around with it, I specifically mean you can play it in different inversions to give you a different voicing. Alright, so that's things that you can do on that too. Another thing that you can do is instead of playing a minor 7th or minor 9th, you can make it a minor 11th. How do we form the minor 11th chord? We play the minor in our left hand, so A flat, B, and E flat. Go down a whole step from the root, which would be G flat, and play that as a major chord in my right hand. So G flat major is G flat, B flat, and D flat. You put it all together, and it gives you that minor 11th sound, which is very sweet. Alright, another thing that you can do on the minor, on a minor tone, or like the 2, the 3, the 6, is you can play a quartal chord off of the root. So if the root is A flat, so I can play a quarter chord in my right hand. And it still gives me a nice minor type of sound. You can also do it off of the whole step above it. Alright, so that's things you can do on the 2. Let's take a look at the 3. The 3 in the key of G flat is 1, 2, 3, which is going to be B flat. Alright, now we know typically on the 3 it can be used as a landing tone or passing tone. In this particular tutorial and in this series, we've been focusing on the 3 more so as a landing tone as opposed to a passing. Alright, so as a landing tone, the 3 can be minor, right? So if it's going to be a B flat minor, I'd go B flat, up 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, up 4 half steps, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So B flat, D flat, and F. That gives me my B flat minor triad, right? So you can play it as a minor triad. You can play this as a minor 7th by taking the 3rd scale degree or the flatted 3rd scale degree, which is 1, right? 2, 3 is that D flat, and forming a major chord off of the D flat. So D flat, F, and A flat. And then I'm inverting that D flat major. And that gives you that B flat minor 7th sound, right? So you can also take this a step further, and instead of playing it as a minor 7th, you can play it as a minor 9th by finding the 5th scale degree, 1, 3, 5, right, that F, and playing an F minor in your right hand. So F minor is F, A flat, and C. And it would sound like this. That's that minor 9 sound, okay? And now you can take it a step further and extend it beyond the 9th and the 7th and make it a minor 11th, right? So to make it a minor 11th, I'm going to play the minor chord in my left hand, so B flat, D flat, and F. I'm going to go a whole step down below my bass, which is A flat, right? And in my right hand, I'm going to form a major chord off of that, so an A flat major. And that would be A flat, go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's my A flat major in my right hand, okay? That's your minor 11th type of sound, okay? And of course, as we did on the 2, you can play a quarter chord off of the 1st scale degree in your right hand, so B flat, E flat, and A flat. And you can go up a whole step above that to C, right? And play that as a quarter chord. C, F, and B flat. Okay, and that gives you that nice minor types of sounds and voicings. Alright, so that's things you can do on the 3. Let's take a look at what you can do on 4. 4 in the key of G flat is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be B, We know the 4, according to the number system, is typically major, so we want to look at this as a B major. So start on the B, go up 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 to E flat, and then 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3. And now I have my B major chord, which is B, E flat, and G flat. Alright? So we got that as the B major. You can make this a sus2 voicing. Instead of playing the 3, you can play the 2, which is B, D flat, and G flat. So sus2, regular major. Technically speaking, you can make this a sus4 voicing by, instead of playing the 3, play the 4. So that would be B, E, and G flat. Okay, so that's things that you can do instead of just a regular B major chord. Now also what you can do is play the 1, 3, and 5 and add the 2, which in this case would be D flat. And what that does is it makes your voicings a little bit more fuller, right? As opposed to just playing a regular triad. It adds a little bit more thickness to it, I guess you could say. Alright, so we got the sus2, we have the sus4, we have the add the 2 or add the 9, right? We get the regular triad. Now let's look at the sevenths, right? So to form a B major seventh, you find the 3rd scale degree, which is 1, 3, 5. That 3 right there is an E flat. And what you want to do is make that a minor chord. So E flat minor is E flat, G flat, and B flat. This is how you get your major 7th sound, right? Sounds pretty good. Now what about that major 9th sound? To form a major 9th, you'd find the 1, 3, you find the 5th scale degree, which is G flat in this case, and form a major chord. So G flat major is G flat, B flat, and D flat. And you can invert it. That gives you a really nice major 9th sound. Okay, and then we go back to our famous quartal chord hack, which says that you can form a quartal chord off of the 3rd, the 2nd, the 7th, and the 6th scale degree of the chord that you're playing. So if I'm in the key of B, or if I'm playing a B major, right, B, E flat, and G flat, I find the 3rd scale degree, which is 1, 2, 3, which is E flat, and form a quartal chord off of that. So E flat, A flat, and D flat. Right? So that's off the 3. Then you can do it off of the 2, which is 1, 2, which is D flat. So D flat, G flat, and B. Alright, so quarter chords off of the 3 and the 2, and then also off of the 7 and the 6. The 7th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is that B flat. So form a quarter chord off of that, which is B flat, E flat, and A flat. Alright. So you got it off of the 2. Off of the 3, the 2, the 7th, and then the 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is A flat. So A flat, D flat, and G flat. Alright, so altogether you got it off of the 3, 2, 7, and 6. Alright, so that's some cool ways to voice the 4th tone in the key of G flat or F sharp major. So let's look at the 5th tone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Off of the 5 is typically going to be major of some sort, so you can just make this as a straight major chord. So D flat, F, and A flat. Of course, you can make it a sus2 by playing the 2nd instead of the 3rd. So D flat, E flat, and A flat. That's sus2. Technically, you can make it a sus4, which means play the 4 instead of the 3. So that would be 1, 4, 5, or D flat, G flat, and A flat. Alright, so you can make it a straight 5 major chord, right? You can make it a sus2 or sus4, and you can also just make it a major chord with that added 2. So D flat, E flat, F, and A flat. Alright. Now, oftentimes a 5 is going to be used as a vehicle to take us back to the 1, right? Because we know, according to like secondary dominants and dominants typically want to move us, to the next chord. So if I'm on the 5, I know that I want to go to the 1. Okay, which is G flat major of some sort. So other things that you can do on the 5, and I'm not going to focus a lot of attention on this because I have other courses devoted towards it. But on the 5, which is D flat, you can play the 4 as a major chord, which is B major. So B, E flat, and G flat. And you can play that in whatever inversion that your ear tells you sounds good, right? You can play that 4 as a major 7th chord. So the 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is B. Form a major 7th. 1, 3, 5, major 7th. You can play that. And you can do that in various inversions, and it sounds pretty good. And take me back to the 1. So that's 2 ways that you can, suspend that 5 instead of playing it as a straight major or major add 2 or sus2, sus4 type voicing. You can suspend it by playing the 4 as a major over it, or the 4 as a major 7th over it. You can also make this a diminished 7th off of the 4. So that would be B, D, F, and the A flat. So what did I do there? I played it as a major 7th and then a diminished 7th. And it takes you back to the 1. Alright, so that's some things you can do. Another thing I like to do on the 5 is to play the 3 as a major. So what do I mean by that? Find the 3rd scale degree of G flat. 1, 2, 3. That's B flat. So if I perform a B flat major over B flat, D, and F over that 5. And it sounds better if you play the 7th of that 5. So go down a whole step from the bass. It sounds really dissonant. It does a good job of taking you to the 1. So if you're on the 1, 2, 5, right? That 3 major over the 5 and then back to the 1. Sounds pretty sweet. Very dissonant. Alright, so that's one thing that you can do. And then finally, one of my favorite moves is that West Coast move, where when you're on the 5, you play the 7th as a quarter chord. So the 7th of G flat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is F. So I'm going to make a quarter chord off of that, which is F, B flat, and E flat. And then when I go to the 1, I form a quarter chord off of the 6th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 off of that E flat. So it's E flat, A flat, and D flat. So the 5, 1. Okay, you hear that? Those West Coast cats doing that a lot. Alright, it sounds pretty sweet. So those are some things that you can do on the 5. Let's take a look at the 6. On the 6th scale degree, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is E flat. Typically, the 6th scale degree is going to be minor, right? So you can play it as a regular minor chord. E flat, G flat, and B flat. Right? So that sounds okay. You can also make this a minor 7th chord by finding the 3rd scale degree, which is 1. That flatted 3rd is F sharp or G flat, and making a major chord off of that. So G flat, B flat, and D flat. It gives you that minor 7th feel, right? Another thing you can do on that 6 is you can play this as a minor 9th by finding the 5th scale degree. So that's 1, flat 3, 5, and playing a minor chord. So making a minor chord off of that B flat. So that'd be B flat, D flat, and F. And again, I'm just playing around with the inversions, okay? You can also give yourself a minor 11th sound by forming your minor chord in your left hand, going a whole step down below that root, which is E flat to D flat, right? So forming a major chord off of that D flat. So D flat, F, and A flat. It gives you a nice minor 11th sound, right? So those are things that you can do to make the 6 sound minor. Now, sometimes when you're doing a walk up, like a 6, 7, 1, you want to make the 6 sound major. To do that, you play the 4th scale degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, as a major chord. So B, E flat, and G flat as a B major chord, right? Over the 6. And of course, you can make that a sus2 if you like. And also another thing that you can do is go a whole step below your root. So if I'm playing E flat, which is going to be my 6, I go down a whole step. E flat, go down a whole step. So 1/2 is a whole step. So I'm on D flat and form a quarter chord off of that. So D flat, G flat, and B. That works really well, and that sounds good to take you from the 6th to the 7th to the 1. Okay, or if it was a straight 4/5, 6, 7, 1. All right. So that's things you can do on the 6th. Let's look at the 7. A 7th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the F. As you heard me play it, over that 7, you want to go for a major type of voice and a major sound in more contemporary songs. Sometimes you're going to use a half diminished, but for right now, we're going to focus on using this as more of a major sound to get you back to the 1, right? So on that 7, you can play the 5 as a major chord. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is D flat. So you can play a D flat major over that. So D flat, F, and A flat. You can also make that a sus2. So D flat, E flat, and A flat, or technically a sus4, which would be D flat, G flat, and A flat. That's kind of tense, so I probably wouldn't do that much unless the melody really called for it. So I'd probably stick with just a regular 5 major or 5 sus2. Right? So if I did the 6, it would be 4/6, which is B major over 6, and then 5/7, which is D flat over 7, and then on to the 1. Okay. Now another thing that you can do on that 7, which is F, is go down a whole step. So you're on the F, go down a half, go down a half, it's E flat, and form a quarter chord. So that'd be E flat, A flat, and D flat. And that takes you to the 1 very nicely. Okay, so if you want to do the quarter chord walk up, it'd be on the 6, you go down a whole step and form a quarter chord off of that. So D flat, G flat, and B. Right? Then go up a whole step, and then you go up to the 1. Alright, so that's things that you can do on the 7th. Now, I'm just realizing that on the 3rd, we focus on what you can do on the minor options. Just as a reminder, when you're playing the 3rd, which is 1, 2, 3, B flat, if you're in the key of G flat major, right? So if you're on that 3rd, anything that you did on the 1, you could do here. Alright, so that means that I could play the 1 as a major chord, G flat, B flat, D flat. I could make it a sus2, G flat, A flat, and D flat. I can make it a sus4, G flat, B, and D flat. That sounds pretty tense because that B and that B flat are rubbing against each other. So I probably wouldn't make it a sus4. I'd probably stick with just a major, a sus2, right? Or playing the triad with that added second, right? Or you can play the quarter chord that's a whole step below it. So that's A flat, D flat, and G flat. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 1. Okay. So that's some different ways that you can voice all of the diatonic tones of the G flat major scale. I hope this is a blessing to you. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like, click, and subscribe for the channel to get more content just like this, and to get more content where I'm literally breaking down things and helping you to understand it based upon music theory and the number system. Alright, take care, God bless you, and goodbye.